Nursing burnout. It's a great topic to be able to be talking about because I hear this so many times from different people when it comes to them saying that, you know what, Michael, I'm burnt out. You know what, nursing is just burning me out. And so, I want to be able to share with you guys, my insights and my thinking into this whole matter, right? So, before we get started, by the way, my name is, Nurse Mike. I am, I am part of IamNursing.com, and I want to be able to share with you guys a bunch of videos to be able to give you guys some insights to create a community for us nurses to be able to help each other, especially in this topic right now, talking about nursing burnout, right? It does happen, and there's many reasons that can actually lead to this particular problem that occurs with a lot of nurses. Some of the basic ones is pretty much diet, right? So you must eat right. You must be able to have a balanced diet, because that can cause a lot of unhealthy issues that adds up more stress to you, right? The next thing is also sleep. Now, sleep is one of the worst things ever to ask a nurse to do, because as nurses, I mean, most of the time, honestly, especially me, I work night shift a lot before, where a lot of nurses will work double shifts, or even work back to back 16-hour shifts, or back to back 12 shifts, which can be very grueling at times. And sleep is sometimes is something that we don't get a lot of easily, okay? And so we definitely need to be able to manage that. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, like, for me, wise, if I sleep more than 8 hours in a day, I get a headache, and but at the very same time, is there's a bunch of different studies out there that says you must have at least 8 hours, but there's some studies out there that says you must have at least 6. It just all pretty much depends on your body. There's some people that I know, they need 10 hours sleep to be able to function correctly, right? But you need to be able to adjust and know your own body and what you actually need. And if you know that that's the basic that you need to give the basics, or even a little bit more. There's also other underlying factors like stress at home, right? Maybe family issues, and that sometimes, unfortunately, you're so stressed at home, there's so much stuff going on in there, and then all of a sudden you get really, really stressed at work, and then there's that burnout that actually happens, right? And so that can be very problematic. And the question you have to ask yourself, are you working too much? Where that maybe that you need to bring it a step down. you know that's one thing you need to look at. Or another thing is nursing really right for you? I've seen some nurses quit this industry because they just really felt that it's causing more harm to themselves, and they literally leave the nursing industry and try to get into something different, right? And much respect to those people to be able to know themselves innerly and to be able to say that, what, this is not for me. And there's a lot of people out there that unfortunately stay in nursing who should not be nurses, right? And we all know one of those type of nurses, or seen one of those type of nurses. And those are typically the people that it just complains too much, right? Another factor that I've actually felt is the truth also on why people get burnt out in nursing, even though that they actually love the profession, like they're really good at it, but they get burnt out because you sometimes hear them that, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be working in the hospital. Or if they're working in the hospital, they say something like, I should not be in the hospital, I should have my own business, I should be a nurse entrepreneur, right? So we ended up settling for a job that pays the bills but does not really return too much. I mean, we enjoy the return that we provide great care, but it's just not enough. It's just, we did not get what we really, really wanted in nursing, right? And I understand things happen. You have a family. You should, you want to be secure. This job pays well. You don't want to try to start somewhere else, get paid less, be in the bottom ranking in regards for your status in the business, in the company. I understand that. I mean, I'm talking about seniority, right? So that's the thing, right? You need to be able to adjust yourself and figure yourself out right now, and say, what, is this the right position for me? Is this the right job for me? Is this the right place that I should be? I met one nurse one time, and she she used to live in New York, and then what happened was I met her in California, and what she said was that I thought that I did not want to be a nurse, but the truth is I want to be a nurse, I just did not want to be a nurse living in New York. And so she was happy in California and did an amazing job as a nurse over there, because I worked with her when I was a travel nurse around that time. So, you have to be able to figure yourself out. And the thing though is, we get burnt out because we actually start detecting the signs early, but we don't actually listen to that. And the worst part about it, as a nurse, our job is to assess people, to assess patients, to look at, what are we seeing that could be a potential problem for that particular patient, and then report it to the physician. And hopefully we can actually handle that before something gets worse. But the problem is, nurses are the worst patients in the world, because we don't even listen to our own advice that we give our own patients, right? It's like nurses, for example, telling a patient you shouldn't smoke, you have CHF, you have COPD, and then all of a sudden after that you see them outside in the back room smoking themselves. So what's up with that, right? So, we need to watch out. We need to pay attention to our own selves. Like, for example, for myself, I know recently that I've started telling myself I need to start losing weight. And, the problem is, how do I get started? But eventually, the fact that, you recognize that at first, that's one of the best things that you guys can do, and then hopefully act on that, right? Remember the basic nursing process, ADPI, assess, diagnose, plan, implement, and then evaluate, right? So I'm starting to assess myself, I'm diagnosing myself because I know I need to lose weight. I may be considered obese already, I guess. And then so now it's about the planning stages, or getting started in the planning stages and how I can better myself. So that's the thing you need to ask yourself, is that, what do I need to do now to lessen the stress, and then at the very same time as not put myself in a position that all of a sudden, bam, I'm burned out, right? And so honestly, with you guys, I mean, me recognizing I need to lose weight, but another thing I do in the past to prevent burnout is, what's the next step? What should I do differently? So I kept on changing. I worked at a nursing home, then I became a travel nurse, and from a travel nurse I became a wound nurse working for a facility. I pretty much did so many different things in this industry, and then now starting businesses, doing education, doing training. I made sure that I made my mind busy, so I didn't felt that I was doing, the same things all over again, pretty much like the whole groundhog day setup. That's how you're going to drive yourself crazy. So, I hope this little information of what I've shared with you, of my feelings and my thoughts, resonates with you guys. And if you have any questions, or maybe you want to add something to this whole conversation, that's what I'm doing here in this video, is to start a conversation. Comment down below, reply to other people. We want to make this into a community of like-minded individuals, of nurses, student nurses, and future nurses, to kind of help each other out and lift each other up into this community to be better than what we were. All right. So once again, this is Nurse Mike with IamNursing.com. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like it, you share it, and you subscribe.